There's one thing I've learned, Buzz is two things. Really fun to play, and probably too strong. Buzz is the newest chromatic brawler in the game, which means that you'll be able to unlock him after you reach tier 30 if you unlock the Brawl Pass or by opening up the Brawl boxes. Buzz is the first of the prehistoric trio, which tells us that we'll probably get a few more Jurassic brawlers in the near future. He's not a dashing assassin or the rolling assassin or even the toxic assassin, but rather he's the Buzz assassin. I see what you did there, Supercell. I'm paying attention. He's a lifeguard at the Velocirapids water park, but he's not actually that great at being a lifeguard due to his short arms. Even when he throws his life-saving buoy at people, he does so a little too over-enthusiastically, which ends up doing more harm than benefit. He really loves telling people what they can't do though, so at least he's good at that part of lifeguarding.
Don't mess with the whistle! Certified lifesaver!
Buzz's main attack, Buzz Off. For Buzz's attack, he blows hard into his whistle, which sends 5 projectiles out in front of him. They fire from left to right, similar to Bo's or Leon's main attack, so depending on where his target is, the direction that Buzz is moving is actually important if you want to deal most damage from a distance. The other option is just to stay right on top of the target so that they all deal damage. His slaps don't reach far, but they deal a ton of damage, which makes him a solid close-range brawler. Buzz's super, Torpedo Throw. For a super, he shoots out his torpedo buoy and pulls himself over to any brawler or wall that it hits. If he doesn't hit a wall or an enemy, he just wastes his super. Now, if he latches onto a wall and happens to land close enough to an enemy, they'll also get stunned, so keep that in mind. Now, the duration of the stun actually depends on the distance that Buzz has traveled. If it's a short pull, the stun won't last very long, but if it's a long pull, it'll stun the enemy for longer. Buzz's super doesn't deal any damage by itself, so keep that in mind. One thing that's cool about Buzz's super is that he can actually use it to pull him through walls without breaking them, assuming he's able to fire around the walls in the first place and then move behind a wall. Now, with brawler traits being introduced in this update, Buzz has a trait that allows him to charge his super just by being close to brawlers. The area is marked by a dotted circle that constantly surrounds Buzz wherever he goes. Now, it may be helpful to know that this trait alone charges Buzz's super in 15 seconds with just one enemy brawler within the circle, 10 seconds with 2 brawlers within the circle, and 8 seconds with 3 brawlers inside the circle. Enemy players cannot see if they're within range, so keep that in mind when you see an enemy Buzz. Now, if you're facing a Buzz, there's no way to tell for sure if you're within the range, and Buzz can charge his super off of hidden enemies as well, so keep that in mind. Buzz's gadget, Reserve Buoy. When Buzz activates this gadget, he instantly charges his super 100% full. However, there's a catch. A super that is charged from this gadget will not stun brawlers, so make sure you have plenty of health or that you're latching onto the right brawler. This makes this gadget actually the perfect one to use for escapes or if mobility if you know that your super won't hit an enemy brawler anyway. Buzz's first star power is Tougher Torpedo. When Buzz stuns a brawler with his star power equipped, the minimum duration of the stun will be at least 1 second. Now, this star power does not extend the maximum stun duration, it only ensures that the stun will be at least that long. For a brawler like Buzz, stunning an enemy for half a second longer might actually be the difference between defeating that enemy or getting defeated by them, so this is a pretty great ability. Buzz's second star power is Eyes Sharp. This star power increases the range of his supercharging area by 33%. Here's a comparison of with and without this star power, and as you can see, this is going to add a ton of area that enemy brawlers will want to avoid. Buzz will obviously charge his super more often, but he'll also add a little bit more map control, and the tricky thing is, it'll be pretty difficult for the enemy team to know which star power is equipped, so they'll be forced to keep their distance. Now that we know how Buzz works, it's time for us to see how well he does in all the Brawl Stars Olympics tests. We're gonna start with his worst test, move our way up to his best test, and make sure you guys watch to the end because after that, I'm gonna talk about how good I think Buzz is going to be in all of the game modes. Also, please subscribe for more sneak peek information for this update and future updates, and also I did a balance change video recently over here that you guys can check out after you watch this one. The attack range test. It should be no surprise that Buzz has one of the shortest ranges in the game. His attacks reach 3 tiles in length, which puts him in 46th out of the 48 brawlers in the game. Now, there's actually going to be 49 brawlers in the game with Griff, but I'm not allowed to talk about him until a future sneak peek, so 48 for now. Buzz's attack range is slightly shorter than BB's and El Primo's and is slightly longer than Edgar's and Jackie's. The area test. Against all of these skulls, Buzz is able to clear 15 skulls with his attack and 20 skulls with his super. With a total score of 35 skulls cleared, he ends up taking 37th place, which suggests that he's not great at area control. The assassin test. In 3 seconds, Buzz is able to deal 8,820 damage with his attack, which places him in 28th place. Now, most brawlers also get to utilize their super, and his super does not not deal damage, which is why he doesn't place so high in this test. However, the fact that his attack can stun is going to make him an incredible assassin. The dive test. Thanks to the stun from his super and the fact that it pulls him to the Ike turret, Buzz is able to deal 5,880 damage to the turret before dying, even though his attack has a short range. This places him in 27th place for this test, which suggests that he might actually be a pretty great diver. The survival test. Buzz doesn't have any shields or heals that allow him to survive any longer against the sniper bot. He relies on his 5,880 HP to survive for 15.2 seconds, which ties him with Nita for this test. Buzz is actually pretty tanky in comparison to a lot of the other assassins, but he doesn't have any heals or shields, so keep that in mind. We've only talked about 5 tests, and for the rest of this video, Buzz is better than half of the brawlers in the game. The boss test. The only way for Buzz to deal damage to the boss is with his main attack. Thankfully, his attack deals a lot of damage, and he has a fast reload speed. This allows him to take out the boss in 56 seconds, which places him in 23rd place. For reference, this is actually similar to Tick or 8-Bit, which shows that Buzz might actually be pretty good at dealing a lot of damage over the period of an entire match. The super range test. Buzz makes up for his short attack range with his super range that reaches 10 tiles long. This is just as long as Gale's super can reach, which ties him for 21st place for super range. Now, the width of his projectile is thinner than Gale's or even Jean's, so keep that in mind that it's going to take a little bit of accuracy to actually hit enemies at max range. The level 25 Siegebot test. Against a level 25 Siege boss, Buzz deals a bit of damage at the start, but he steps aside since his attack range is so short. He then uses his super to pull himself to the boss at max distance to stun it for as long as possible. In the end, he's able to take out the boss with 11,200 damage remaining on the Ike turret, which places him in 20th place. Now, this ties him with Piper, Jesse, and Ems in the Siegebot test, and I recently did a whole video showing all brawlers against level 25 Siege boss, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. The Swarm test. Buzz's attacks deal damage to multiple targets, which allows him to quickly take out a lot of bots at once. It only takes him 11.1 seconds to clear the entire swarm, which places him in 16th place. This suggests that he'll actually be pretty good at dealing with multiple targets. The reload test. It takes Buzz 17 seconds to unload and reload 10 full ammo. He has a super fast reload speed, but you can actually tell that it takes him a bit of time to unload each ammo because there are 5 entire whistle blows with each one. With an average total reload speed of 1.7 seconds, Buzz places 12th place, which is actually close to Max's and Byron's reload speeds. The Supercharge test. Buzz can charge his super with only 8 hits on an enemy, which he can easily do with 2 ammo. It only takes him 1.3 seconds to fully charge or recharge his super, which places him in 9th place for this test. I think this is a big reason why Buzz is going to be such a strong brawler. The attack test. With 1 ammo, Buzz is able to deal 2,940 damage, which ties him with Nani for the 7th most damaging attack. With 2 ammo, that's enough to deal 5,880 damage, which can kill 83% of the brawlers in the game. With 3 ammo, he can deal 8,820 damage, which is enough to take out every brawler in the game other than Frank. The race test. Buzz has a fast movement speed like Daryl, El Primo, or Rosa. Now, normally brawlers are only allowed 1 super in the race test, but I made an exception for Buzz because his gadget can automatically charge his super. It only takes him 7.8 seconds across the entire map, which places him in 3rd place out of all of the brawlers. He's a little bit faster than Max and a little bit slower than Mortis, which is actually really crazy. The stun test. If Buzz's super hits a target at maximum range, he stuns them for 1.5 seconds, which is just as long as a stun from Dynamite and Lou. Only 2 brawlers have longer stuns than this, which places Buzz in 3rd place for the stun test. Next, we have Buzz's 2 best tests, and then we're going to talk about how strong I think he's going to be in all of the game modes. The push and pull test. Now, I wouldn't normally say that Buzz belongs to the push and pull test, since it's normally a measurement of how far a brawler can move other brawlers, but I feel like this is the best place to show how good his super is at pulling him. With a range of 10 tiles, this would place him in 2nd place, which ties him with Colette. The only brawler that does better is Jean at 12 2/3 tiles. The box test. This test is a good indicator of how quickly a brawler can easily ramp up in Showdown. Buzz is able to clear all 16 boxes in 21.3 seconds, which is the 2nd fastest clear time out of all the brawlers. It's slightly faster than El Primo, and I think that Buzz is going to be an absolute nightmare in Showdown because of it. Okay guys, now let's talk about how strong I think Buzz is going to be in all of the game modes. Now I already mentioned Showdown, but just being able to ramp up in power cubes isn't the only important factor in Showdown. The other really important factor is being able to win 1v1 situations, and I think that that is exactly where Buzz is the strongest. As long as he can charge his super, he can win almost any 1v1, and the cool thing about Buzz is that he can automatically charge his super with a gadget, kill an enemy, and as long as he can stay alive without dying to them, then he'll have a full super charged up so that he can then stun the next enemy and kill them. Once he gets ramped up, it's just going to be even easier for him to steamroll through everybody. I think Buzz will absolutely be an S tier brawler in solo showdown. And next we have duo showdown, and not every brawler that's good in solo showdown is also good in duo showdown. However, I think Buzz is going to be great at both. The fact that he can stun more than one enemy at a time with his super, and the fact that his attacks deal damage to multiple targets, means that he has the potential to wipe out entire teams with a single blow by himself if you pull it off just right. I think that Buzz will be an A tier, probably S tier brawler in duo showdown. Now, there's nothing about gem grab that makes me think that Buzz is going to be particularly amazing, other than the fact that Buzz just has a lot of mobility and he's just kind of good overall. I could see him being a great option at assassinating enemy gem carriers, activating his gadget, and then supering away to safety with all of the gems. I don't think he's going to be the best brawler for gem grab, but I think that he's a solid A tier brawler. Next is Brawl Ball, and with how much mobility Buzz has, I think he's going to be an excellent option in the game mode. Now, the fact that he can auto charge a super with his gadget will make it so that he can super shot the ball whenever he wants to, which is actually really crazy if you think about it. Another option for him is to super kick the ball, then use his gadget to pull himself toward the ball, past enemy brawlers, and then kick it into the goal, right? He's not going to be the easiest brawler to play, but if you can pull this off, the skilled players absolutely will justify Buzz being an S tier brawler in Brawl Ball. And honestly, I can see Buzz being S tier in Heist as well. He can deal a lot of damage with his attack in a short period of time on that safe. Plus, he can use his super to pull himself onto the enemy safe. And when things get a little bit too dangerous for him, he can always use his gadget and super away to safety until he's ready to go again. And all those strengths in Heist make him even better in Siege as an S tier brawler, because he's kind of like tanky like BB, so he's going to be able to control the center and be able to pick up bolts and things like that. But he can also use his gadget at the very start of the match to ensure that he gets the first bolt for his team, which is a massive advantage. And then there's the fact that he can stun the boss on defense or stun the Ike turret when he's going on offense. He's just going to be insane in Siege. Can't wait to play in there, honestly. Now, Bounty is a game mode where I think that Buzz could be good, but I don't think he's going to be very good against like the most skilled players who will know how to play around him. If he can single out an enemy in a 1v1 situation, he'll be amazing. But I think that only the most skilled players will be good with Buzz in Bounty. And so I think that the A tier ranking for Buzz is a little generous. He might be B tier instead. Now, Knockout is going to be kind of similar to Bounty, but I think that Buzz will be a little bit better in Knockout than in Bounty because he doesn't have to worry about players respawning to team up against him. Plus, there's going to be a little bit more opportunities for him to single out a single target and take them out, which is just going to make it easier for him to take out the next brawlers as well. Also, now that Showdown Smoke will make Knockout matches more close range, I think he's going to have a pretty fair shot. I think he'll be a solid A tier brawler for Knockout. Next, we have Hot Zone, where I think that Buzz will be good, but not the best. I'm going to give him an A tier ranking. Now, keep in mind the fact that on the maps where there's only one zone to protect, he's going to struggle because brawlers are just going to 2v1 him from a long distance away, and if he tries to jump on anybody, they're going to have their friends back to help take him out. On maps where there are multiple zones, he's going to have a little bit of an easier time because most of the time he's going to be 1v1ing somebody else. Then, of course, he has his super that it's going to allow him to travel between the different zones and stuff like that. Now, there are more game modes that I can't talk about yet, so I don't know. We'll see how it does in those. Overall, I think that Buzz is going to be a really amazing brawler. I think there's a really good chance that Supercell is going to nerf him, but I don't think it's going to be an emergency nerf. I don't think he's going to be released, then Supercell's like a week later be like, oh, we gotta get rid of him, because he's a chromatic brawler and most players actually won't unlock him until later on. I'm curious to know what you guys think about Buzz, so let me know in the comment section below. Also, make sure you subscribe for some more sneak peeks. We've got plenty of other stuff that I haven't been able to show you yet, so make sure you watch that. And if you missed any of my previous videos, make sure you check this one out right here. I'm going to make sure that this one is my balance changes sneak peek, so you guys can watch that after this video's over, which, by the way, it's over, so you can go and watch that now. Make sure you guys use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by. We will see you in Brawl Stars.